help my thing, because computer system is so crazy.
You still wanna read it? You wanna read the agenda?
Well,
Okay.
I'll just go through it, that's
Okay.
all, that's what I put on here. And there was something else I thought of since that, is not.
So,
Do we have any minutes ready to approve or deal with or
um, I do not.
not? Okay.
That's my falling down.
We'll
'cause
try to, I'll try to work with you to get that going.
Yeah.
this in between time.
Absolutely need to.
Bills and accounts.
That's February. This is part of March. That's March. Not many bills. That's okay too. That's March, I just separated them.
What's that?
That's March.
That's February.
I just made out two separate.
First part of March?
No, that's the whole month.
I mean, all of February and,
All of March,
oh, all of March.
yeah.
What's the grade we have up there?
Janice Pratt.
Oh, no, that was it for you, okay. All right.
We didn't do, can I just run by the dates that we've had meetings? Do we have one in January?
Yes.
We skipped 1 month.
We
I
skipped March,
think we skipped March, didn't we?
yes.
Yep.
Did we skip January?
No, I don't think so. I'd have to look. Okay, oh, I'm looking at this, and this says that as of the end of February, we had $11,887. And so we need to be thinking about some of the things we can do with some of the part that we aren't gonna be paying out anyway.
Yeah. I have not done anything else with the marker question, the plot marker question, but I think that's a good idea. I don't know if it's
yes.
premature, but,
We know we need to do that, work on that
Right.
over time. South Cemetery water systems.
Yep. They actually have the little pump in,
Yeah,
and they haven't, Fred said he would dig that replacement line that goes across the driveway. I talked to him about that, and he said he would do that.
we've got a place where the water line crosses the driveway, and the driveway's gonna be repaved anew. So we wanna
We're gonna,
dig it up and put new line under that,
and it's gonna get,
and put it in a sleeve, so that it
it'll,
can be dealt with from either side without digging it up.
without digging the hot top in.
exactly.
And then, when they do the driveway, it won't have to be dug up forever.
And then I'm gonna talk to Fred about putting, as they pave over the material, and just, if there's 6 inches of hot top, get them to put 6 inches of hot top in there, so there won't be a soft spot in there.
Right, right. Right, so we'll come up to the level,
You level what it is.
you know, just put an
and-
inch of hot top on top of soft
Yeah.
ground, right,
Yeah, and then you'll end up with,
right, a divot,
and it'll ruin it.
right.
And he's got a couple of other spots to do things like that in too, that it's soft, so,
Yes,
that it isn't a good base. Most of it's a pretty good base, but,
yeah, he's got a, when you go out towards the bank, the north slope, that's gotta be dug out and stuff. That would, cause, and
Part of that.
he's seen where it's, he knows it's ruddy.
and he's getting that ready to get a price and stuff to do.
Yeah, I think that might have already gone, I'm gonna try to catch up with him tomorrow and, to see where that stands. And I was gonna go over the stuff with him at the cemetery down, where the line is and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I actually have a piece of paper, when they replaced that other line, I pulled distances off stones that aren't gonna move so that we know where the line is, and I'm gonna give him a copy of that,
No.
so that he has it for the records.
You need a copy of it in the file.
I will make 2 copies,
Yeah,
3
Put
copies.
one in the file, so that, in a file folder that says that on it, so we'll, somebody will be able to find it someday.
Yeah,
And
The
this-
North Cemetery future paving, we still need to go up there and work on measuring out the main driveway.
what are we getting into the file? The,
when they replaced the water line in down the south, I pulled distances off of certain stones and put names on them, so that you could go off X amount of feet from 2
Oh, oh,
I
spots
know
and say,
exactly where the line
where the
is.
line's buried in the ground, and
Yeah.
right,
so I'm just gonna have to copy and give him a copy and put a copy in the file over here. Make 2 or 3, 4 copies, and that way there'll be a record of it, and if someone's looking for it, they have half a chance of finding it.
yeah,
Yeah, the north, they, cause they're gonna pave on Highland Street,
Yeah,
and I think that, I have to find out, I think they might be doing the pulverization on it, which we could tie in the mouth, and it would be
Yeah.
nice and solid and compact, and so we won't have those divots all the time.
at this point, we should organize a time we're gonna meet up there and work on that,
Yes.
to measure for that. To measure for the paving on the road up there.
Yeah. I can't do it Friday.
It can't be a Friday.
I can't do it this Friday.
No.
I have a 3 o'clock appointment
Yeah.
for my recertification, so.
Um,
And I'm around Wednesdays for that, so.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening with my Wednesday this week. I
Okay.
know I'm tied up in the afternoon,
So
but there's a potential for a meeting in the morning or the evening, and I don't know whether it's gonna happen or not.
yeah,
the 4th or the 11th?
Wednesday, the 4th.
It's
might
my-
work.
It's my birthday.
Oh, we don't wanna take your birthday.
Oh, please, nobody pays any attention to my birthday anymore, especially
Including
on a
you.
weekday.
Either.
I feel like we're trying to start avoiding them, aren't we?
No, you don't avoid them, they're good.
Yeah, well, they are, cause you keep having them.
They're good, cause they
You
keep
keep
having
having
them.
them. I don't mind them, but you know, I don't mind hanging out with you guys on my birthday in the sunshine and.
I had a birthday cake one time and they put the wrong age on it.
Yeah.
Instead of 48, 49, and I says, well, I guess maybe that's good, that means I'm gonna be here next year, right?
Jesus, that's funny. That is funny. So do you wanna take that?
The 4th?
So this is, North Cemetery measure,
Yeah, and that's, May 4.
leisure
10 in the morning or something.
meeting,
That sounds good.
May 4th,
Okay.
10 a.m. Let me put this
I
in
will
here
post it
too.
as a site visit,
Yeah,
where
site
where we
visit.
don't do business, but we are there working.
Yeah.
Um,
4th. Let's get it in here. 10 a.m. This is North Cemetery. I'm sorry, I'm talking to myself.
Now,
Okay.
the South Cemetery shed, you had an interesting event there last week.
Yes, I did. I went down to lay out for a plot marker and I pulled in and the door was wide open. The shed was wide open. And
Nobody there.
nobody there, and you could tell it was blowing because one's like this and one's way open.
Yeah.
And so I called the police
Yep,
and they came down, I think his name's John Saldy, the police officer. And we looked at it, he took pictures of the door and everything, and I didn't go in. And then when he got there, we looked at it and I went in and I didn't see anything missing. And we think, or he thinks, if you look at the thing, the wind, looks like the lock had a problem, like it was half rusty and it snapped it. But I couldn't find, you can't find the bottle. So, didn't look like anything was done, bothered. So, but I called Fred and told him too. And, so I have, there's a padlock on it, he's gonna give me another one that goes with the set for the two of them.
Oh.
So they're the same. I just put one, I had one at the house and I just put it on.
But they didn't know anything about it either, so.
No, cause I asked him for some of his guys had been there and forgotten, and he says, he comes back to me and he says, he got back to me and he says, no, none of my guys have been down there. And I told him what happened, and so he says, nothing, I says, nothing was gone, nothing's
Nothing.
missing, nothing had been touched that I could, nothing had been moved or anything, I just, must have, like I said, the wind must have blown hard
Devil
enough.
of wind to do that.
I know,
But if that's what really happened, it's not surprising you can't find half of the thing, because it would have flung it.
we could have winged it, snapped it and sent it somewhere,
Could have
but the
been
weird part was the hasp,
50 feet away.
you put it in, it's got two little fingers that slide in, and it hangs down.
Yeah.
Well, it must have popped off too, because the piece that was holding on the hook, the hasp was turned the wrong side around, and they had it, they didn't know how to put that, somebody picked it, they didn't know how to put the hasp back in.
it's also possible that it was some curiosity, some thrill seekers that,
Well, I'm gonna grab the end of the thing and show you, it was rusty, like, it's
yeah,
just
but it
snapped.
could have been some girls with a hammer in their car that thought they were gonna see bodies, some
Right.
rude goth people. I mean, it could have been,
Yeah.
could have been
Oh, yeah, it could be something.
shock seekers.
I
They
carry-
found
I
alarm
carry my-
tools.
Well, we'll
carry
watch
him.
it, see whether we have other trouble
I
with.
carry him, I go through the drive-through there all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But he said, the officer said they would also, he was gonna talk to the chief about increased patrols in there too.
Yeah, watch
Going
it.
in there more often and just making sure everything's okay,
Yeah, smart.
so,
Good for people to see them making a turn through it.
absolutely.
So things that need doing, tree work always comes up. We've got a slew of it down in South Berlin we'd like to do, don't we?
Yep,
All across the back, and at least one of the trees out in the middle that we talked about a year ago.
Can I just ask, what was the date of that broken lock,
it was last Wednesday,
which was the, hang on,
20th.
4/20/22. Okay, sorry.
So I don't know how do we wanna go about doing something about tree work? Is it something the highway's gonna do, is it something that the highway, we can arrange with them, or?
Well, I think
Have you heard anything about new truck business?
the bucket truck,
Mm.
they're waiting for it. When I talked to Fred a couple of weeks ago, he said they were still waiting on getting the truck. They had taken a class down here, I think,
Yes.
on
I saw-
operation.
I saw him.
Yeah, it was him and Clinton people were over here and
Clinton and Berlin gonna get a bucket truck together.
a shared thing through the state, I think.
That's right, right.
And so Northborough Highway brought their bucket truck over so that they could go through the class.
Oh.
And I guess they sent some of their own people over to see it, probably
Yeah.
to give them some time
Yeah.
on it. But Fred said they were still waiting. He mentioned something about that tree in the center, because I've spoken to him about it, and we've kind of looked at it.
The tree out in the middle.
Out in the middle, that's the worst. That thing's, he says it's still alive, but you're picking up
It's
pieces,
a mess.
you're picking up pieces all the time from it,
Yeah, yeah.
all the time, so it's.
So,
Seemed
definitely in South and, but, I mean, we've got some money
Yeah,
to help pay for it,
yeah,
and we can integrate that with some of their money if we need to do something like
Yeah.
that.
So there's a big tree at the old cemetery? What-
South
No.
Street.
Oh, the south,
It's at South. It's at South. It's an old one, a good part of which is already gone.
Yeah,
It just needs to be,
I think Roger Wheeler said there was 3 of them across there at one time.
yeah. It needs to be.
is it one of the maples?
Yeah, it's not one of the ones on the driveway, it's one that sits out in the middle by it, so you know where
In the
the,
back part.
You know
It's
where the-
behind the cross drive.
you know where the water trough is, the horse water trough?
Patty Wooded.
I've been there, I forget.
But it's right near there, it's right next to that.
But it's behind the cross drive.
Yeah,
And a little bit over toward it's over toward the west drive, the south drive. It comes in from the
yeah,
road.
yeah, I think I know the one, yeah.
And other spring work, I mean, we've got money that we need to, that we can put to some of the tasks that we
Right.
need done.
Well, we got those, some on the curve there where, the entrance to Sawyer Hill, there's a couple of renegade trees that are in the middle of bushes that have grown up. There's definitely, what is it, an ash or
Oh,
something
right.
up in the middle of a
Yeah,
spirea
yeah.
that needs to go. It's about this big around now.
Oh, wow.
It's huge. At the base, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
you know, it was a sapling and then it was bigger and then now it's even bigger. It needs to go because it's gonna take the wall down if we don't get rid of it. It's too close to
Oh,
the,
it's over near the tomb.
yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
it's near the tomb,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, there's some stuff there that needs to
Yeah.
come down.
yep,
So there's
definitely.
2 of them?
There's a,
I think they're ash trees.
yeah, I think they are. There's 1 or 2.
That are right along in there.
And there's a few that are smaller, but there is definitely one it's a good 6 inches around.
And I guess what I would suggest is we need to make a list like this and
Mhm.
of some of those things,
Mm-hmm.
and talk to Fred about it, and if they can do some of it, fine, if they can't, if he doesn't feel they can, with all the other things they have to do,
Yeah,
Right.
'cause they got-
then we can talk about doing something else to get it done.
Right,
But we need to talk now, because we need to decide to do it by next month, so we can get it done before the end of June.
Because he said that they're,
The
because we
budget-
all know how busy it is.
do we need to have licensed insured people do it? Probably,
Well, if they,
Yeah,
oh, you would definitely have to,
yeah,
if you sub it out, but they would be insured through the town.
yeah.
They would be covered under, if it was a town, they would be covered. Anybody else, they definitely would have to have,
so no volunteers with chainsaws,
no,
No,
yeah,
those days are gone.
yeah. So we can't call Walter, we can't call, my Lars remarkably is very well experienced with chainsaws. He worked as a lumberjack as a teenager.
good place for them,
But he,
a place far away in the woods.
well,
Okay, was something else that was mentioned that I wanted to bring up to this meeting? Yeah, I think you mentioned it to me last
Was it
week.
north?
I don't know where it might be.
Trimming the brush or the water tank at north they're gonna put up there?
Oh, the water system, yeah, the water tank.
They have a, now it's 100 gallons or so water tank that they had to, I think he said, Fred said they came from, when they were building the highway barn, they had to put water up there for the guys to mix cement. So they have a tub, and he says they wanted to put it up to north, they were gonna put it up there so people could have water,
nice,
and they're gonna fill it. I'm quite sure how they're gonna fill it, but they were gonna fill it, they didn't have the fire department not filling it because they draw the water out of here,
Yeah,
this building, so it'd be too much. He said that they would put something up there, but I says, it'd be dirty, I says, well, we just have to put non-potable signs on it. That would, so that people, you know. that
oh,
knows.
right, so that maybe they're gonna pull it out of one of our ponds. you know, one of our-
Possibly, or I.
Cause there was, right down there by what was Durant's, there's
That's pretty
there's a-
filled in,
well, there used to be, at least a fire pond,
yeah, it's pretty,
that's pretty filled in.
pretty filled in.
yeah. I don't know if there's a way to pop the top on the well out there and pump out of that.
Well, this is the thing, I mean, we could do something with that, but, if they've got a tank and they'll keep it, some water in it for the summer,
Yeah,
sounds good to me.
yeah,
I'd what I'd like to do is put it behind the shed.
well, he was talking about putting it out in the front field in the corner there, right near where Eloise's graves start. It's kinda more centrally located.
Well, that's all right, but I put it behind the wall rather than in front.
Okay.
Sounds like an eyesore to me.
Well,
Oh, that's why I said that.
Yeah.
well, that's fine, I mean, behind the wall, you wouldn't see it
Behind the wall, it wouldn't be as,
Right,
obvious, and it's more centrally located there for people that go in the Quaker.
right in that location is good for all parts of the place.
Right,
People can get to
right.
it. And it's out where people can see that it's there.
it's this, yeah,
Well,
which
once they
helps.
find out,
Yeah.
there won't be a.
So is it on a crib, is it on legs, how is it?
It sits, and they were talking about setting it on like some cement blocks. Cause
Okay,
it's gonna be, you're gonna pull it out for the winter and stuff, like, it's just a temporary something, so you have water
Right.
now, and you would just set it on cement blocks, and of course, then with it, you can adjust it
right,
to the ground. and-
so that the drain is the low part,
Yeah, but it's not like this, it's, you
Yeah.
know, you adjust it in that way, it can be pulled out,
So it'll drain and so.
drain, and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah,
it can be pulled out for the winter.
yeah.
And when something permanent is,
So how many gallons?
I think he says like 100 gallons.
It's not really very big,
No, but it might be more than that.
it's nice, it's
Oh,
good.
well, but for what people use water in. it's
Oh,
a
I
lot.
know,
Once you
Yeah.
get, because once you get by Memorial Day, once you get by the first, second week of June, there's only about 5 or 6 people that go up there and do anything.
right, right. They won't use 100 gallons in the whole summer, unless it evaporates.
Probably won't use 100 gallons in a month,
Yeah, they'll,
except for Memorial Day weekend.
Right,
and one of your biggest people that water all the time has passed away.
Yeah, a lot of the people that did have.
Kenny Streeter,
yeah,
he watered his wife's, and he would take water out and water the geraniums in front of the stone, and he'd water other people's, and
Yeah.
unfortunately he passed away.
Yeah.
yeah,
And people like Cormier that would pop in there once or twice a week and water geraniums and stuff, they're all gone.
Yeah, Hayward Stone was always down there watering the flower, he'd come down 3 or 4 times a week sometimes, depending on how hot it was.
interesting.
Of course, he came to visit and would sit and talk to Mary and, well,
Yeah,
All the, I understand it.
I do too, totally.
Well, it sounds to me like this is all right, and that we don't have much risk in it, in that we, it's a temporary enough installation, so if we decide we'd like it different another year, we can have it different.
Absolutely. Well, it's kind of a, it's a, I'd say it like a trial basis, trial and error type
Yeah, yeah.
system.
And if it's not set up in a big permanent way,
Is
we've got room to change it over
change it
time.
without, I don't know,
So preferred to be placed behind the wall,
right near the road, because that way people
Yeah.
can get to it.
Yeah,
near
that's kind of in the middle of the place, and it also is,
tree.
you know, the back part, the front part, so.
Yeah, it's kind of about the best place to be, only gonna have one to be.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay, got it, next.
Okay, that sounds fine.
Okay.
Tree work, water tank.
What else do we have?
Is there other stuff you think of that we need to do?
I
Yeah.
wanted to, the Renegade, Miss Hastings, Florence Wheeler's, Weeping Mulberry and
Cutting off.
Encroaching Mulberry and Bittersweet, that's really, we need to all like converge with clippers and
Cut that back.
we need to do that like by hand, it requires hand saws and hand work.
Yeah, well, the
You and I should just do it.
creeping, not the
Bittersweet.
bittersweet, if you just cut it and then leave it, it dries up and it blows away, it blows out.
Yes.
Because I don't wanna pull it, because you start
No.
pulling it and it'll break branches and everything.
That's right, but pulling it out of the fountain and out of the ground is not a bad idea.
You're talking about the stuff around the fountain there.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah. See what it,
So that's something, if it's done, it'll be us ourselves doing it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yep,
that's fine.
yep, yep,
yeah, well, it's good to do. Good, anything that takes care of things that are getting to
Invasive,
be unkept,
invasive.
invasive and so forth is fine.
How about the flowers for Memorial Day?
Yeah, I'll take care of that, I'll give it a call.
Okay, we'll make sure we have them, and I think I'm putting in for vacation the end of that week. I might work Monday and Tuesday and have the rest of the week off. So that,
And I've gotta get out the stuff from last year, and we need about 40 less plants than we had last year.
Is there anything you need from me on that day, on that week? You know,
Oh, yes.
What shall I, where shall I schedule myself?
In all probability, we will have Saturday of Memorial Day weekend, we will have a delivery of plants in the morning. And we'll
So
have
That is.
all those plants to plant.
212 or something like
Mhm.
that, 212 or
Yeah.
something like that.
So this is the 14th, this is coming up quick,
Hmm?
right, the 14th, Saturday before Memorial Day?
No,
No.
it'll be,
Oh, here it is, I got it, it's the 30th. What the hell is Peace Officers Memorial Day?
That's not it.
Yeah, so
Memorial Day
the
is the 30th,
28th
28th, 27th.
is the Saturday.
Yep,
So Saturday, 5/28, 22 is flowers delivered.
yeah, with a question, because it's either Friday or Saturday.
Last year, he brought them down that morning, and
Okay,
we were fortunate because the
Legion Auxiliary.
Legion Auxiliary was there putting their stuff out, and 2 or 3 of them
Help.
planted a whole bunch of ours.
Helped us, yeah, we went around and dug it, and they come behind and put the stuff in. So I think it was Cindy Taylor was there for a while, Jane, Susan,
Cool.
Jennifer
Jennifer stayed
Taylor
right to
did
the
a
end.
pile of it, Jennifer Butler.
So do we wanna put it out on the 2 Facebook pages that we're doing this? Probably smart.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
And put us as contact people if people wanna volunteer, or what do we do?
Are they always had is the Legion having the Boy Scouts back to do the flags, or?
well, they do that, but they used to do that on the Sunday.
Yeah.
They used to go do all the flags after the church service on Sunday.
Yeah, but the Boy Scouts, because of COVID, I think Roger ended up, it was 3 or 4 that ended up doing all the flags.
Yep,
Him, Roger, with Jane, Susan, and I helped a little bit when I was down there one night, and they took one certain cemetery every night.
yeah.
Because they couldn't because of COVID, so I don't know.
But that one is theirs to do, ours is the flowers.
Yeah.
And we're putting out plants based on the flower funds that we have, that people have put in to pay for a plant to be put in every year, kind of stuff. So, we're no longer encouraging that.
Well, we may,
There's no way you can make it pay in the long run.
Right.
we also changed the price on it too.
But we've got the established ones, so we're doing those.
And what should we say to people that, if we post it, people are gonna say, well, I want flowers for my family, what do
We
we?
should.
That's
They-
why you gotta be careful.
So you- so that-
Said,
So they can, they're welcome to plant during what times? They're welcome to put their own geraniums in, from when to when?
Well, usually in the town report, it says, please wait till the weekend,
Memorial Day
before
weekend.
Memorial Day weekend, because that way you can get, the guys can get everything mowed and weed whacked and stuff like that. It always goes in the town report. Please,
So,
please,
we already put it in this year.
yeah,
but not everyone, please wait.
till Memorial Day weekend to do your plantings. You're
Uh-huh.
still,
Well-
Don't plant stuff for the summer before Memorial Day weekend.
Until it's that same day, it is.
Cause then it's, all that stuff is in the way of what we're trying to do to clean it up.
5/28
yeah, that's the,
to
some people still gonna do it, but that's okay.
plant.
Can't,
Most of them come in that weekend to do it. though.
yes, and there's a few, after all the years I was there.
Not many that come in much before that Friday.
Well, and I knew who they were, and I knew who it was, and I would run over and weed whack around their stone, just so I didn't have to deal with it.
Cause you knew which ones. were
I knew which one coming in early.
Yeah.
So
And
we can-
again, we've been,
So we can give them Friday?
Well, just, it's, how do we put it, recommended, or how do we
we
work?
ask them not to put stuff in before Memorial Day weekend, that's all.
Yeah.
I went into the North Cemetery today
Yeah.
on my way home from, I'd driven over to Bolton and I came back. And there was some people there and I looked around at who was there and I decided I'd leave. Your neighbor, apparently the 2 stones have been put in
Oh, yes, I know.
and they were there looking.
Yes, I saw those, and so did, Chris Pendergast's father-in-law's stone is it too.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Okay. So-
But I saw those in there about a month ago, and I just.
Oh, that long?
Yeah, they've been in there quite a while.
Because I've gone looking for them several times and they weren't there, but
Oh, no,
I guess it
they're,
hasn't been as recent as I thought.
they're, I don't,
Well, we know that they're not necessarily gonna be to everybody's taste.
that's okay. Whatever.
What are the stones?
Just,
A couple of lots somebody was having done that, so, having the stones put in. They're normal sized stones, but the people are a little unusual.
Okay.
Um,
You'll get that.
Did you see the brush they trimmed on the pines over there?
Oh, no,
Oh, it looks good.
well, it's fine, we needed it.
They need it, it looks really good. Looks
And
good.
we've had, the business, the roads up there, we've had a plan now for some time. We want the main road going in there to be a two-way road.
Yes,
We wanna be able to have grass drives going across the cemetery and have a one lane coming back out on the other side,
One
Right.
way.
one way.
one way. And so it'll be a narrow drive,
Right.
but the evergreens that are there will have to come out for that to happen.
Yes,
But we know that a lot of them are getting to the point where they're ready to.
they're gonna come out anyway, right?
The
And,
limbs are dead way up and some,
Yeah.
and, you know, it's just a matter of time and so. And it makes it, with them gone, even the ones I had trimmed up, it makes it so much easier to mow too, so much easier.
Oh, yes, oh, yeah. So we'll, well, in the long run, trees are a problem in the cemetery. They're a problem for uprooting things, their roots
Yep,
foul up the stones.
Push them up, sink
Grass.
them.
yep.
And they're beautiful, but they are a problem. And in South Berlin, those wonderful arbors that we've got going up both driveways. But they drop
I know,
twigs and sticks all the time.
I know.
They're constantly picking them up and trying to get them out of the way so you can mow and do the rest of
Yep,
it. And the grass under them isn't good.
yep,
Sometimes it's some places are pretty good, but a lot of it's just awful. And if it once gets poor, it can't come back because it doesn't get enough sun.
Enough sun, it doesn't get enough, we don't.
not enough water. Maples are notorious for sucking all the moisture out of the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's the other
Just-
thing
there's-
they're doing.
there's
Yeah,
just
the
not
trees take
enough.
the moisture out, so there's.
They're not a
Other-
deep-rooted tree, they're, they're spreading
Yeah.
roots that just,
Yeah.
there are deep-rooted trees, but maples aren't one of them.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
So, I'm not really interested in putting in trees in the North Cemetery, but at some point, we do need to think a little bit about some landscaping up there,
Well,
just so it won't look too barren.
right,
Fred, that dead tree that's out back, on that back road,
Yeah,
where we're not gonna do anything, none of us will be around when they do something. That dead one that we're gonna take out, there's some mulberries there that are pretty, he asked if we wanted to leave any of those. Leave one to make a tree there.
well, it's a nice tree for a,
So I said, I don't know, but he hasn't cut it yet, so I thought I'd bring it up, and if we wanna leave one to see a better one there to see if
mulberries are a mess.
they're a dirty tree.
And the only thing about a mulberry is that it's nice to keep a mulberry or two around, too, that we can use to reference back to the silkworm craze of the 1830s.
right,
Which was a big thing. They had, people were raising mulberry trees and they were getting cocoons and they were trying to have.
Make their own silk here instead of getting it from
raised-
China.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that.
And there was a surviving mulberry tree at Steen Benson's. Last I knew, I may still be. I think
That's probably where those things are coming from then.
Probably where that's coming from. And there is a surviving one there, but there's almost no others. There's very few of them.
South Berlin, there's one, there's a couple at
Yeah.
Indian Head Farm, and there's one,
Yeah.
one has rooted itself across the street at my house,
Yeah,
yeah.
and there was a while in there that there was just a boom. They thought they were all gonna make money
Yeah.
raising silk. And it didn't work out too well,
No.
because the climate isn't right for them, for what they
Different.
needed, they were trying to do. They don't have a long enough warm season.
Season here.
And so it didn't ultimately work out, but that was a great craze for a very few years. Hester Whitcomb has written about it very effectively in her book about Bolton. Because Bolton has got, in their collections, they've got books and records of the Holman in Bolton that was doing that, Silas Holman or whatever he was, that was actively into that and selling stuff. And so they've got some real records about how many he sold. and
Actual went on.
all this kind of stuff. So it really gives you an idea, it was a very substantial thing. But it didn't work out and it didn't last long, and the craze was soon over. I don't think it lasted 10 years.
But then you would had the mulberry trees.
But there were mulberry trees left in a lot of places as a result.
Sure.
Yeah. But that's what they were raising them for. And I know that there's the one on that farm, and our understanding had been that that was part of that business.
Huh.
So do we wanna have him leave one there, or
Yeah.
just cut them all out?
Well, depends on,
Where are they? Right by the,
No, it's on the, well, it's,
by the shed?
no,
No.
it's on the board, when you,
oh, down at the bottom of the hill?
you know the whole row of spruce trees up there, where I said he trimmed some, right, Fred's trimmed some. This is on the row that goes out towards the back, out beyond,
Further out back there?
yes. And there's a dead tree out there,
Yeah.
the top's gone, so we were gonna take that out. And he says to me, do you wanna leave a mulberry in there, or a tree in there, to replace the spruce tree that's coming
My
out?
answer is I'd say one.
Okay, I'll tell him that. He hasn't trimmed that, he hasn't done that yet, unless they were there
Yeah,
today.
yeah, I would agree.
I'll tell
This
him to
is,
leave
this is
one.
down and back,
Yeah,
but we don't have any graves and won't probably for years to come.
I am a mulberry fool. If wherever you leave a mulberry, I might show up in July and eat them because
Yeah.
I love
Well,
mulberries.
you'll compete with the birds. Well,
I love
birds,
them.
birds love it.
I get, purple hands and feet going around and eating mulberries to great abandon for about 2 days and then they're done.
Yeah, it was,
Um,
keep one, keep.
Yeah. Keep, this is tree, this is
Yeah.
trees. Keep one mulberry. Volunteer.
Any other business?
Yeah, I have
Back.
something, we don't have any numbers on the cemeteries, like as a street number.
Our street numbers? Yeah.
And I do have had some of the vault companies, you deal with them, asking what is the address, what's the number, because they plugged it into GPS.
Yeah,
so they
yeah,
can- And I wonder if we should have a post or some way to mark the 3 cemeteries, give it
Yeah.
an actual number, and I would think we would have to get with the
I gotta get
fire
the
department too,
Yeah.
and the highway to where we're gonna put it, and how big it has to be, and everything.
I have dummied up numbers for both north and south.
Okay,
And I forget what it was that made me do that, but something that I needed something
Something
for. So
pertaining to
I-
municipal stuff, no doubt.
they've never been given a number.
okay,
And I think the one for north is based on the fact that it comes right out across the street from the little house.
from, Margaret Tyndall.
Yeah, the Tyndall House. And so I dummied one up from that, and I dummied one up for the center drive across the street from the house that's there.
Henry Pacifics.
Not Henry's. The center drive is across from the house next door. It was Sousa's. Used to be Sousa's. Anyway, I have dummied up numbers for those. I will check them and look at them some more, and then I'll go talk to him about it.
Okay.
And the center cemetery is, it's either gonna be 2 or 4
Yeah, I would just,
Linden Street.
because people ask, and that way there'll actually be a number, because everybody goes by GPS. They do everything.
Well, that's the reason you need it, is because people want it, people want to put that, push
Right,
that in. and-
Right, if they're coming to a
And
service.
they
Yeah.
want it, so.
So for service
2 or 4 Linden or Central? Linden?
Linden,
Linden.
because,
I I think I'd go with 4, but
But, just because of that reason, because I mean, I've had vault guys come from Saugus,
Yeah,
and so.
totally get it.
Because we should have a sign out there, and you need those for police and fire too, I mean.
Sure,
well, yeah, I
sure.
mean, we can put it there, but yeah. It isn't so much the essential thing that it be posted as it is that you have it so that people can use it that way.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
When they get there, they're gonna know where the
They've got
cemetery
to
Yeah,
the
is.
cemetery, but if
but-
they're in Newton and they're
but
trying to
I-
get here,
But I've watched the vault truck drive right by North Cemetery too,
Oh,
and I go, well, there he is, and there he goes. And he got all the way to Bolton,
To
he got
the-
all the way to center of Bolton.
oh my
And
God.
said, I know I've gone too far, and came back.
We didn't stop at the one just over the Bolton line there.
and
No,
That's
but
fine.
it because
Half a
he'd
mile
never
up.
been there before.
Sure. So,
I had something that I had
So-
to do. and
so
I-
Barry, when you said you dummied some up, what do you mean? You just guessed at numbers?
Yeah,
Um,
and I can also go look at the map and check it too from that.
so you're gonna, it'll be by consensus with the fire department or something?
You've gotta get, they're the ones that officially do numbers, assigned numbers, and those never, the cemeteries never got done. And nowadays, you need it for the reason you just stated. People are trying
Yeah.
to find it, and they don't know where they're going, they don't even know where they've been when they got there. All they know is that they punched in this number.
They punch in and they keep going
this
like
address,
this.
And they go looking.
And they
Right,
go 50 feet down the road and go recalculate, and then they're looking,
Yeah.
and they're looking at this instead of going like this. And
And, I mean, the emergency people need it.
Absolutely.
They haven't ever brought it up, but they need it because if they, I mean, if they got the ambulance there and they called ALS,
And,
Or out of
and,
town or
and
something.
we're not, most of them aren't from town.
well, this is it.
yeah,
So, the idea of this is not, is most reasonable, and,
yeah,
if it's
I'm all
okay,
for it.
I'll check what I figured out before on those and, look at it again, and then go talk to,
Fire chief.
now shall we draw
people in
lots?
the fire department.
Shall we draw lots on whether he guessed right?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. Okay,
Yeah, that's fine. I'll work on that one.
cool. Oh, I was gonna put, did I put that, save that about the flowers or not into my calendar? Let me see.
Talked about it. Did I
We need your signature on these.
Okay.
We need the second signature, so we have a.
And borrow your. That's it.
Yep.
Most welcome, sir. Pen back and. Come
I
on.
don't have your second sheet for you.
No, I gotta get it. I haven't copied anything anyways either.
So there are those. They're signed, so you can put them those.
And I've got this thing I gotta give to, I'm gonna give that to June. When I got the lock and they set it wrong and I took it back, that padlock, I went down, so I better get that to her. And,
Figure it out with her.
yeah, well, that way she can, both papers are there, that way, she says, if they get, if somebody sends a bill, you know,
If we get a bill this.
she'll know it's
Yeah.
not to be,
So,
Okay.
so, sorry, so for the flowers planting, where do we start on a Saturday? Flowers are delivered
Yeah,
where?
we'll
It's
do
all
that.
in South Berlin.
It's all, it's all at
And
the
he'll
South
deliver
Cemetery.
them, probably put them next to the shed, and we just go at it. And I've
Gotcha.
got- I've worked up a map with a plan. I've got-
Nice.
I've done 2 or 3 things to do, so it's easy, hopefully gonna be easier than it used to be.
Well, yeah, well, last year was the first time, so it's definitely gonna be easier.
For
And
those
hopefully
of us, yeah, this was our first shot at it. George had been handling this
For 35
for
years.
years, and,
There's an address, South Cemetery, 187 Pleasant Street, Berlin. It comes up on the GPS.
187,
Uh-huh.
Okay.
and what comes up on the, and,
Let's Google it, 187 Pleasant Street.
GPS.
That doesn't necessarily mean that that's.
Right.
It comes up in the calendar as 187 Pleasant Street. And you said
Highland Street,
Yeah,
North Cemetery.
wait a minute, 9 AM, let
Actually,
me just add.
187 would be the wrong number on South Street. Because it's on the even side of the road, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, that
So
is the
that
wrong
would be
number.
wrong.
Yeah,
On the wrong side of the road.
yep, totally is,
187.
question mark.
155.
Okay. And,
It's not too far off, otherwise,
Yeah,
it's the wrong side of the road.
come on, stop it.
the
Add.
reason I asked, I thought real quick is because when James used to come in, James, we look him in a boat, and I always go, oh, you're 240A, right? The little house there.
240 Highland Street,
240.
question mark.
Well, that's on the right, at least it's.
That's yeah, it's on the
At
right
least
side
it's
of the
the
road.
even
but-
number.
And Gracie Stanley's house is 242. It really should be more like 238, but we'll see.
I was gonna
Well,
say
you don't have to,
238,
this is
236.
just,
Yeah, I know.
you know, maybe the
Yeah.
computer, maybe somebody like me just stuck that in there,
Stuck a number.
and it is saved by the computer. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
that that's
Yeah.
something you have to stick to. The smart system will figure it out and relearn
Don't
it.
they, once you give a number to a house, like a new house, doesn't the fire department or somebody have to plug it into GPS before it becomes
Well,
official?
but-
Same thing with a road and everything.
The big
Yeah.
thing they're doing is plugging it into 911.
Okay, that's,
Right.
okay.
Right,
And all your telephone,
yeah,
you know,
so,
when you call 911, the address of that landline comes up on, if you call on
Yes.
the landline, the address comes right up on the thing. And that's why you can't just play with them.
Yeah, you can't, people used to plug their 911 in the phone, and then when you just hit the button on their phone at the house, they do it, oh, I'm just testing it. And you can't do that anymore, or you're gonna have the police at your door, they have to go to there, no matter what.
If you test it, you've got to stay on the line and tell them that.
Yeah,
Because if there's nobody, because I had that and hit the thing by accident and just hung it up quick, and the next thing I had Buster at the door. I said, no, sorry, I goofed, and then I realized you can't, you've gotta stay on and
tell them,
take care of
talk
it.
to
oh,
them.
yeah,
And I think they're still gonna come, even if you say everything's all set.
Hmm?
Don't they, even if you tell them everything's okay, they're still gonna come to the house, don't they?
I don't know, if you actually get on and explain that this is, I'm Mr. Jones, and
This is such and such happened.
we had an accident, something fell on the telephone and accidentally.
they come anyway,
they come
it's
in.
automatic, there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, some of it is because it could be someone, domestic abuse and those kinds of things, and they need to make sure that
That's right, they do.
there isn't somebody that was asking for help while somebody else is saying no.
That's
Yeah.
right, they do a wellness check.
Yeah.
If 911 is engaged, they come and do a wellness check. And that was explained to me,
If they can possibly do it.
because, when the kids were small, and they discover that, 911 is the emergency number, then they I think that was what happened at our house, was
Oh, yeah.
somebody thought that they should call 911 and see what happened.
Yeah,
Cops came.
yeah.
Hi, no, sorry. My kids were playing, everyone's okay. Can you get them all, you know? Can we see all your children? Like, yeah,
Yep.
it's okay. No, this one dialed the number.
Motion to adjourn?
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
may I ask for the 15